Bonjour et bienvenue pour une nouvelle vidéo. Aujourd'hui, nous avons la chance et l'honneur de recevoir notre premier invité sur la chaîne, une légende de l'enseignement, un des plus grands coachs de golf au monde, David Leadbetter.
Bonjour. Very happy to be here at Evian, one of the most beautiful practice areas, and great teacher in Paul. And we're looking forward to helping you with a few big tips here that's going to change your golfing life.
Thank you, David. En effet, aujourd'hui, David a accepté de partager avec nous 3 clés qui vont pouvoir aider tous les golfeurs. Vous allez voir que ça va être très intéressant et que ça va énormément vous aider. Ok David, au cours de votre carrière, vous avez coaché de nombreux joueurs professionnels sur les différents tours ainsi que beaucoup de joueurs amateurs. Alors vous avez gentiment accepté de partager avec nous les 3 choses que vous aimeriez que tout le monde sache. On attend avec impatience votre expertise.
Okay, compris. The big thing is that even if I'm teaching a tour professional, if I'm teaching amateurs, the basics are still the basics. Okay, yes, tour players are good athletes and they move better, but even the amateurs can learn something from the tour players. They have to keep it simple. So I always believe in teaching amateurs very simply. So the first thing I think is important to look at is the grip, because the grip to me, okay, it's a connection with the club, and I would say 90% of amateur golfers have a bad grip. They have the club too high in the palm, and they wear a hole out in their glove. There's so much movement. So if you can get a good grip, I mean, even look at Scotty Scheffler. He's put his hands on, he's always checking his grip, because if you haven't got a good grip, you know, I always like to say good golf begins with a good grip. So if you take, this is what we talk about with most amateurs. They have the club up here, and then there's too much tension here. Okay, so the important thing is to have the club down towards the fingers. You see, just above the little finger on my lead hand, or my left hand, being a right-handed golfer, and that gives you the ability to actually hinge the club.
Okay, could you please show it that way?
Yeah. So we can see here. Okay, that's the bad one. So if you wear a hole out in your glove, that's the first sign. So you want to have it here. You can see, and I always say you want to put the club up in front of you, like this, at 45 degrees, and then put your hands on the club when the club's in the air. That's a very good tip. If you try to put it on down here, it's awkward, right? And so really important, you can see, look, my arms hang this way, they point in, and then when I grip it, it should be the same angle. And so this gives you flexibility, it keeps tension out, and to me, many swing faults could be traced back to the grip. So get a good grip. You can either overlap, interlock, two hands, but the top hand really has to be much more down towards the fingers, not straight down at an angle, but you can see now that's a very different position to where most golfers have it, which is up in the palm.
Understood.
So remember, good golf begins with a good grip.
Lovely.
One of the important things in golf is aiming. Okay, if you're gonna shoot a gun or a bow and arrow, you better be aiming. Okay, and we can see that a lot of people get very lazy with their alignment. Okay, so I think the important thing is, and I'm going to get you to hold that, and I'll hold the microphone. But we're going to get down. We're going to get a couple of alignment sticks. You can use, if you haven't got alignment sticks, you can use golf clubs. Okay, so the first one. Okay, we're going to put this down towards the target. Okay, this is your target line. So we're going down. Where are we aiming here? We're aiming
at the tree.
At the dead tree. Okay, that's it. So remember, the only thing you really want to aim at the target is your club face. Your body, because you're standing to the side, has to be parallel left of it. So when, okay, you can put that down. Okay, parallel to your feet. You can see how these two lines are parallel to one another. It's like a railway track. Okay, this is the outside track, which is the target line. This is the inside track. If you hold the club there now, Paul, everything, your toes, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, and even your eyes should be parallel to that line. What most people do, they walk into it and put their feet down. And when you put your feet down, generally speaking, you're probably, if you're a right-handed golfer, aim to the right. And then they say, oh, you're aiming too far to the right. Then they just shift around. So you see very few professionals practicing without alignment sticks down. So it really pays dividends. Pick a target, change your target sometimes, but put one stick or club down, which represents your target line, and put one stick down, which represents your body line. So take your address now. Let's see. All right. right? So if we put a ball in front there, let's see, just move that over there. Okay, so we can see when Paul sets up to it here now, everything is nice and square. So when I look from behind, I'm always looking at, say, where the club face is aiming, where the body is aiming. So everything now is on nice parallel lines, and that gives them an excellent chance of hitting the ball to the target. If you're aiming in different directions, your feet are here, your shoulders are there, you've got very little chance of being consistent. And everybody always asks me, how can I be consistent? Well, this is one of the ways you can do it. And when you're practicing, put a couple of sticks down and you'll see the benefits. Okay, you know, the golf swing is what we call a chain reaction. And many things that you do early reflect what you do late. People who come outside in, over the top, very common with a lot of golfers. Golfers who reverse pivot, golfers who don't get through the ball. Much of that can be attributed to your takeaway. And it's really interesting. Just take your address there. If you look at many of the modern players here at the Evian tournament with all the LPGA players, a vast majority of them, and a lot of the tour players now, great players like Ludwig Aberg, you know, the great swinger from Sweden, they start the backswing and they do this. It's like their waggle. You see the waggle here? There we go. That's the movement. That's perfect. That's great. Now, what we see with many golfers, they take it back with their hands and they whip it inside. And that is such a bad start to your swing. So you'll notice here, and then right, he's going to compensate by coming over the top. So when you swing back, the takeaway, which is only maybe just less than a meter, okay, you can see the hands are in and the club head is out. And if you watch golf on TV, you watch really good players, this is what you'll see. And you'll see them, a lot of them just rehearse that first move and then off they go. So very important to get that moving. And in order to get it moving, here's a little tip. Move your belly button. Don't just do it with your hand. Move your belly button to get that moving. There we go. Now we've got a little training aid here called the straightaway, which I love, because what it does, you see, it's got a yellow line on here at 45 degrees. And as you swing back, what you want to do is make sure that this line is parallel to your toe line. You can see if Paul did this, look where it's pointing behind. If Paul did this and took it outside, look where it's pointing. So the big thing is on the takeaway, which is a very short movement, you can see hands are in, club head is out. This now is absolutely at 90 degrees, and we can see that he's now really, to me, the golf swing starts from here. Okay, the problem that people have in the start, which can be caused by the grip, can be caused by alignment, but if you get the start of your swing right, you're probably going to have the finish correct. So everything you can look back and say, right, what's the cause, what's the effect? So a lot of the over the top, the cause is because of the very bad takeaway, going in and then over and literally starting it back with their hands and arms. So always remember, just stick the club in your navel there. There we go. That's it. It's a little bit difficult with that. So you can see this is moving and look where the club head is. Perfect. It's a great way of actually picturing how you start your swing. So remember, you always want to get the body involved, okay? As I like to say, the dog wags the tail does not wag the dog. And if you can get the belly button moving, if you ask Ernie Els, the great player who I've worked with for many, many years, how he starts his backswing, he'll tell you with his belly button. So that's the key, not just doing it with your hands or your arms. So that's what I would suggest for a lot of people. If they can work on those simple things, you can do a lot of the stuff at home, not even hitting balls, get in a mirror if you can. And you'll find that, say, if you get off to a good start, whether it be the grip, whether it be your alignment, whether it be the takeaway, you've got every chance of having consistency and playing some great golf.